Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be doing Chapter 10, Lesson 4. So we have moved on. We've done our unit test. We are moving on to Unit 8, which is Chapter 10. So we are going to be multiplying whole numbers and fractions. And I think you are going to find that multiplying fractions is probably the easiest of all the fraction work that you'll have to do. So I think you'll be pleased with today's lesson. Again, it's chapter 10, lesson 4. Excuse me, if you need to pause your video to get to that page, go ahead. As we look at today's assignment, Math in My World, example 1, wild parrots spend 1/6 of the day looking for food. How many hours a day does a parrot spend looking for food? So 24 hours in a day, that's where they got the 24 from. They wrote out 1/6 times 24. Rewrote it here. Notice they put a 1 underneath the 24. Remember that 24 ones also means 24 divided by 1. 24 divided by 1 is 24. So it has equal value. 24 ones has equal value to 24. So they created this equivalent fraction. When you multiply fractions, you multiply straight across. So in other words, you multiply the numerators together, you multiply the denominators together, and then you simplify your answer. So 1 times 24, that's what they rewrote here, 1 times 24, and 6 times 1, that's what they rewrote here. Multiplying straight across, 1 times 24 is 24, 6 times 1 is 6. Simplify this. Think about this fraction bar as being a division symbol. 24 divided by 6. What is 24 divided by 6? You said 4. You are absolutely correct. 24 divided by 6 is 4. Second problem, find the unknown in 2 times 4/5. So we are taking 2 times 4/5 and changing this to 2 ones. The reason you do this is because when you multiply numerators, you multiply denominators. When you leave this as a whole number, it's hard to see that you just multiply straight across. So you're just throwing a 1 underneath that 2. So any whole number that you have, you just put a 1 underneath it so that you can multiply straight across. We've got 2 times 4 and 1 times 5, and all they did was rewrite that here. We knew that 2 times 4 is 8, 1 times 5 is 5. It's rewritten 8/5, which is then simplified into a mixed number, 1 and 3/5. 5 goes into 8 one time, 3 left over with 5 as your denominator. For those of you that have forgotten, remember that it's 8 divided by 5. 5 goes into 8 one whole time. When you 1 times 5 is 5, and when you subtract that off, you have 3 left over. Here is your whole number, here is your numerator, and here is your denominator. So that's where those numbers come, 1 and 3/5. If you need to pause the video to take those notes, go ahead and do that. All right, moving on. And again, they just show you this. I think you already have that. So, guided practice. 1/2 times 4. Notice all you do is put a 1 underneath that 4 to make it 4 ones. Multiply straight across. We know that 1 times 4 is 4, and 2 times 1 is 2. Remember, this fraction bar means to divide. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So you get the whole answer, 2. 1/2 times 4 is 2. And if you think about it, half of 4 is 2. Just another way to look at that. So it says, explain how you can find the product of 50 and 2/5 mentally. So think about this. If you mentally visualize a 1 underneath this and multiply straight across, you get 100, because 5 times 2 is 100. 1 times 5 is 5. What is 100 divided by 5? Think about that for a minute when I erase this. 100 divided by 5. If you said 20, you are absolutely correct. It is 20. Your assignment. Again, the most important thing that I can tell you to do is to take, all you do is put a 1 underneath these. If you want to take a second and do that to all of your problems, just to remind you, I would highly recommend that. And then multiply straight across. 1 times 12, 3 times 1. Simplify your answer. If you have questions, email me. Otherwise, hopefully you find this assignment pretty easy to handle for today. And we will talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.